was going to say it's the
Yeah,
same people
that's all I was gonna
that's
say.
bringing them back and forth, but then there's a group of people who haven't moved that are there behind that crime scene tape who were just waiting, hoping, and praying that the next dog around the corner is theirs.
You know, and I'm watching them, Eric, too, because some of the people coming out don't have shoes on. And so it could be that some of these people were actually inside the building as well. And just when we think about flash floods and how fast the waters rise on the roads, they're rising that fast in this building, too. So they've got to make split-second decisions about how to get the dogs to safety and how to get themselves to safety.
Now, I believe I've just been here for a minute. I'm seeing the same faces. I'm seeing the same faces that are volunteering. I'm seeing new faces that are walking up very concerned. And let's just try to politely ask here, over here.
While you're walking, we'll just remind people
Guys,
that
do you know how your dog is? Are you still waiting, or do you have any information at all? What's your dog's name?
I know it's Tom.
So there are definitely still people who still don't know the answer. I think that's that's all we know, is that some of these faces are bystanders and volunteers who are doing what they can to team together and get every dog to safety. And then I think we do have some owners who are still waiting and still wondering and still hoping and praying.
Yeah, I just, you know, we're really thinking about the dogs and the folks that worked at District Dogs and all the family members, like the ones you just talked to, who are so anxious and so nervous, waiting to find out about their fur babies, their loved ones. As we all know, if you have a dog, they are part of your family, and you just can't even imagine something scary happening to them. But you think about what they've had to endure for the past, 30, 40 minutes or so. And as these dogs continue to come out, I mean, it's really the best thing you can see. And certainly for the people that you just talked to, they're laser focused on making sure that they find their loved one.
I think they just found,
Oh,
I think
wow.
that reunion just happened.
That's amazing.
And the look of concern on his
Yeah, I
face
think that's
when he came to the scene and he was there just waiting and wondering and watching.
There's this guy. Wow.
Yeah, I think that is
And
the
we
type
just keep
of
seeing more
reunion
and more
that
come out. Yeah.
in the background, Les, you're right. And some run, now one just got loose. One just got loose, so we're all going to try to get him. Hey, buddy.
Catch
Hey,
him.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, they're
buddy.
scared.
Oh, at least they can
well, he
funnel him
knows
right
where he's
into where he's
going.
going.
Scared.
He's a good dog. He knows
We just
where
have to
he's
make sure. We'll
going.
just have to make sure, right? We'll just make sure no cars come in here.
Yeah.
I think some of the volunteers, though, are going to help that dog.
Yeah, if you're just joining
Guys, I know
us.
it's a happy ending. Anything you can say? Well, I'm glad you had a happy ending.
Hey, Eric, I'm just resetting for
right,
folks who may be joining us right now. This is District Dogs here, which is the scene of where these flash floods have really made a mess of the business. These dogs were being boarded here, and rescuers have been bringing them out one by the dozens now, it looks like we've counted. And you can see the faces of people who've been waiting to see if their fur babies come out, or some of these people may be volunteers, some of them may be people who work at District Dogs. And sadly, they've been through this over and over again because of the propensity for things to flood there. There's another dog coming out. They've had quite an ordeal. But boy, this is the best moment of all, really, when we can see them continuing to come out.
Well, and Les and Longo, you've been around the city, and you know this is an area that has really exploded over the last 5 years and really in the last year. So a lot of questions about, just as you said, the District Dogs and the location. But for right now, a lot of happy reunions down here in Rhode Island Avenue. Back to you.
Yeah,
Hey,
Eric.
I'm glad you're coming back to us for a second, and as the dogs come out. Is your mic on, Raphael? Hey, Rafa, you reported on District Dogs like a year ago when this happened.
Yeah, last August at least 3 times they had a similar situation. We were actually out there on August 10th.
All right, we don't have your mic just yet.
We're going to work on that. But Raphael was out there August 10th of last year when this business had flooded 3 times previously and had these in less than a month, right? That this occurred.
That's right.
Is your mic on now? Can we hear Raphael? No mic. Okay. All right. All right, we're going to get you in at the top of the 6th, Raphael, in just a moment. We're going to reset things. So if you're just joining us, we've been covering dogs being rescued from the district dogs here in Northeast D.C. We're going to pause for just 1 second, and we'll get right into the news at 6.
WUSA 9 Weather Watch Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
All right, so this is breaking right now. This is the moment when several dogs were rescued from a flooded business, district dogs along Rhode Island Avenue. This is in Northeast, and what a relief for people who've been waiting anxiously outside this building in the past hour. We've seen dozens of them come out. Now, we're still under a weather watch alert for strong storms, and in the past 2 hours, we've seen several tornado warnings in Arlington and Fairfax and in parts of Alexandria, also in parts of Charles County, Maryland. They have all been lifted, but clearly this flash flooding packed a punch. It packed it fast. Several people had to be rescued from flash floods in the area as well. And our Eric Flack has been live on the scene since the moment we learned about all of this. Eric, you've been standing there, you've been watching, you've been trying to talk to people who've just been nervous and so worried about their beloved fur babies there. Tell us what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, as you said, we're resetting the scene. We are on Rhode Island Avenue in Northeast, where this area, when we arrived on the scene, was flooded so badly. Those vehicles behind me were completely stranded. We showed up on this scene reacting to water rescues actively in progress with DC Fire and EMS. Once they got those water rescues, then we see this. We see emotional owners carrying their dogs away after what became, at this point, the biggest scare. After they got all the people inside the cars situated, DC Fire and EMS quickly learned that this district dog's location, a dog boarding facility, had dogs inside of it. The water, at least according to the watermarks we saw, probably 5-6 feet high. The room where I think the dogs were boarded, it appeared were a little bit higher ground. We were watching inside, and you could see that they were pulling dogs out of that back of that facility. They pulled 1 out, they pulled 2 out, they pulled 4 out, they pulled 10 out. The dogs kept coming. As traffic is blocked here, we quickly realized that a lot of the owners of these dogs, while they might know what was going on, couldn't get here. So we had DC Fire and EMS personnel wading into situations that were trying at best and just pulling dogs out one by one, handing them off to what appear to be volunteers who were shuttling these wet and shivering and cold but safe dogs up to a makeshift boarding facility inside that garage that's right here outside the Alamo Draft House in Northeast D.C. We are still have no confirmation about whether every single dog inside of this facility has been safely brought out. We have seen a lot of emotional reunions with dog owners who sat here for minutes and longer wondering, would their little fur baby be brought out of this facility in one piece and okay? And we have seen countless reunions. Everybody so overcome with emotion that they really felt like they could not talk, at least to us, which is completely understandable. We do see DC Fire and EMS updating some neighbors right now. I can't take out my AirPods, my earpieces to listen in, because if so, I'll kind of lose my connection to you. We'll obviously get another update, an official update here very soon, but we can tell you the heroes of DC Fire EMS who went in and rescued what has to number 24 dogs or more, the countless volunteers who jumped in to try and all work together along with the district dogs, personnel and employees who you could see the concerned look on their faces, trying to get as many of those dogs to safety. As we have reported, and our Rafael Sanchez Cruz has reported, this area has had an unfortunate issue with flooding at this district dog's location before, and we'll get into that later, and there will be questions to be asked. Adam Longo talked about these barricades that were set up with sandbags, almost anticipating issues. And keep in mind, flash flooding happens very, very quickly. In the time we got here, the water was right there. Within minutes, the water was all but gone. And so it does, and again, we have no confirmation of this, but it seems to appear that some preparations were made anticipating the potential for a situation like this, but we're going to have to continue to confirm those facts. But obviously these barricades were just no match for the height of the flash flooding down here at 600 Rhode Island Avenue Northeast, where many cars. Yeah, James.
You can see the watermark on the wall by the fire alarm box there.
Okay, that's a great point. So if you're wondering how high the water was inside this business, it's the highest point, which is discolored on that wall on the white. So where that discoloration stops, as high as it was, that's how high the water was at some point. Now, thankfully, we did look inside. It did appear that the main dog boarding facility was set back in this business and was a little bit higher up, which is why I think we saw so many happy reunions and so many shivering but scared but okay dogs being pulled out. But yet still so much more to confirm, so much more to learn. The one thing I think we're all wondering and hoping for, guys, did they get every dog out of here okay?